afternoon, and I want to thank everyone that I am back in the studio with all of my favorite people. Mrs. Erica Flynn Walker is to the right of me.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yes, and in the studio, engineer Miss Felicia Morris, and she is a forerunner here in the community, offering us multimedia services and studio services in the community. To my friend.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. What can I say? How are you, Mr. Hall?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. It is so good to have you back in your driver's chair.
Yes, sir. It's a lovely place to be, I must say.
Okay.
To all the audience and guests out there, it's been a long time, and just welcome. And I look forward to our conversation today here at the Raymond Hall Show.
Yeah.
How have you been, Mr. Hall?
I've been absolutely wonderful. You know, when life stretches you, a lot of times it's going to benefit you. So as life has stretched me this year, both in health challenges and a few other things, it has really benefited me. We want to ask you to go to our social media sites, our various social media sites. We are bringing new content and new material on. And this show is all about gratefulness.
Yes, we're grateful and thankful.
Thankful. Oh, my goodness. There's so many levels to be thankful on.
There's so many levels. Just the fact that we are here today, sitting here at Morris Media, we're alive and well. Nothing happened with all the things politically that we have going on. We're grateful to be alive. We're grateful to be breathing. We're grateful to know that God is good and His mercy endures forever.
Yeah, that's definitely true. If it were not for the grace of God, I wouldn't even be here.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. We want to stop and recognize you, the viewers, and our supporters that helped us along the way by telling and asking people to come to our page and listen to us.
Yes.
Asking the community to digest the subject matter that we were talking about. In this day and time, there's so much that we need to talk about.
Yes, there is.
But in speaking with Mrs. Walker, one thing we have to keep in mind as we discuss these difficult things, we must also add that component of gratefulness.
Yes, no matter what, because we can't spend a lot of time saying the world is this and it's so bad and we don't have money and we don't have these things. But what I would like to do is just take some time to be grateful and thankful for the things that we do have.
Right.
The things that I have.
Right.
I have both my parents still alive and well. I have siblings. I have Mr. Hall. I have Morris Media, which is a beautiful platform for me to be able to come to you today and speak to you and just be thankful. I mean, seriously thankful, not just saying it. No, I am grateful for just being here today because I'm truly a miracle, as each and every one of you are. And to be sitting here with Mr. Hall, you know, after a 17-year heart transplant, every time I think about it, it's like, this is really a miracle. This individual is a miracle.
Well, thank you for that miracle. Miracle and blessings and grace and everything
and
else.
mercy just to be here.
Yeah. And the one of the wonderful things about it is you don't get 17 years by Mrs. Walker tells me I got to hurry up and go to sleep so I can hurry up and wake up.
Exactly.
So you don't get to hurry up and go to sleep and then wake up. And it's 17 years later.
Yes.
You have to do this thing one day, one
at a
step,
time.
one moment at a time. And it's good to know that you are in a place where you can make mistakes and recover. That's what life is about. You can make mistakes and recover. You can, because of God's grace and because of the people that He surrounds you with, you're able to do things that
you never thought that you would be able to do.
You would never
because
thought you'd be able to do.
From January 2017 till now, there's so many times when we all said, "Oh my God, how am I gonna make it?"
Right.
And look,
Right.
You made it. We're here. You may have some ailments. You may have some sickness. You may have some pain. But you know what? just shake it on off and keep moving forward.
You know, sometimes you all may have noticed, but I'll tell you something. Through part of this 217, we put this show together sometimes at the very last minute.
Yes.
We would work hard on it all night long, and it finally came together at the last moment. But what I'm so proud of is the subject matter that we had. We were able to talk with people about fires, all the fire devastation and the flood devastation. We were able to talk about the mentoring programs, various programs going around in the city. We were able to talk to young entrepreneurs and authors and
Yes.
everything. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful year. The feedback that we heard from all of you. So this show is about grateful. The last show of the year for the Raymond Hall show, and we pondered. Okay, you really don't have to ponder when there is a Donald Trump in the White House.
No.
You got subject matter from now and now on. Okay. You don't have to ponder when they want to run somebody that's running after children in Alabama, and people want to promote him to be in the United States Senate. There's all kinds of material that was in front of us that we could have used for this show.
Right.
But we wanted to take this moment to talk about gratefulness. So we may mention those things in the show, but we always want to come back and talk about gratefulness.
Yes, we do, because we just don't want to take the things that we have for granted. Mm-hmm. And we seem to do that. And when I say we, I'm speaking of myself. Mm-hmm. Like, the fact that you could get up this morning and you could take care of yourself. That is important, and it's something for you to, meditate on that, because there are people that they cannot do anything for themselves.
Right.
And so that's just so important for me, because I find myself complaining and griping and I don't have this and I don't have that. But you know what? I am still going to have my measure of hope and faith, and I'm going to keep a smile on my face, and I'm going to push forward. And that's what I like for each and every one of you to do. Mm. If there's anyone in your immediate proximity to you, give them a hug, tell them you love them, and even if they're not there, when you're walking down the street today, just give everyone a smile and say hello to them, and you will not realize the impact that you will have on someone's life by just acknowledging them.
Okay. We were speaking earlier about just covering a trending subject, and Mrs. Walker and Ms. Felicia have educated me so much with this social media. I had the zeal to do something, but you can have zeal all day long and don't have the knowledge. You may have half of the street.
Right.
The other half of the street, you walking around blind. But one thing caught me this morning. I was looking at the news, and somebody threw a sandbag off of a bridge. It hit a car and killed the man. It was a lady driving, but the man that was in the car, it killed him.
No.
And so they arrested 3 young people, and they want to charge them with murder. Now, that's a separate thing, but the reason I said that is because it goes in line with what you just said.
And what was that?
You don't know if you're going to make it to tomorrow.
You don't know.
Here's somebody in a car riding down the freeway, and they said of people with 13 and 14 or whatever it was, throws a sandbag. Now, who throws a sandbag off of a bridge on a freeway?
No, who's expecting that? That person, when they left home this morning, they weren't expecting that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And it's just, they're no more. Okay. I've been camped out. It is God's word, the Bible, but there are many truth books to this earth. Mm-hmm. And when you study them, they have a lot of similarities.
Right.
The Quran. At one time, I studied this religion called the Rosicrucians, and they
Oh, my
had
goodness.
they had a book.
That sounds kind of heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy. It was heavy.
A little bit too heavy for me.
But they talk to you about auras, how to see auras around people,
Right,
so
right.
good energy and bad energy, and all of those kind of things. And it was heavy. Though.
It was heavy.
It was heavy because you was like a guru.
Right.
You had it was heavy. Okay, but I've come to be camped out at the point of be, just be. As long as we're on this earth in this state, we are in a state of be.
Right. Well, what does that mean, a state of be?
That means that's the state that you're in.
Your humanness is a state of be.
Yeah, you're in a state of be.
Okay.
Now, your active state of be is being. You are a humane being.
Okay, I got that.
You're in the active state of be.
All right, I feel you.
You walking, active state of walk.
Okay.
Talking, active state of talk.
Okay.
Sitting, active state of sitting. Right. So as long as we are in a state of be, we're not in the state of no more. We're not passed on. Nobody dropped a sandbag on our head and we dead now. We're in a state of be. We should cherish that now. Why is that important? It's important because this year we've talked about a number of things. We've talked about the murders. We've talked about a whole lot of things. The fires and all of those kind of things.
Charlottesville.
Here's what's important through all of it. The core of it is that while we are in our current state of be, we have an opportunity to be active in that state of be or being.
Okay.
That should give everybody a desire to say good morning.
Yes, it should.
Just good morning. An active state of be. Just good evening, an active state of be. It's one of those things that if you think that it's not important and you hold to God's word, this is not a Bible study lesson, even though we are launching a new platform here at Morris Media. The Word of God for today will be talking about God's word for 30 minutes every week. But when you're in this active state of be, remember there are energies that direct itself so that we no longer be at a active state of be.
Now that's kind of heavy, Mr. Hall. That's kind of heavy.
I'm gonna make it real simple.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it really, really simple.
Give me the concentrated, simple.
The concentrated, simple thing is this. A gun will kill you.
Yes, it will.
You're no longer in the active state of be.
Okay.
So why is it that our community is flooded with guns?
That's a good question.
Okay. Now, so we're not going to dwell on it. We're just going to say at the end of the year, we're here in a state of grace, grateful.
Yes.
But we want to introduce an energy to cause people to live in a more conscious state in 2018.
Right.
We are all here and have the ability to do something, to make a contribution. That was a wonderful thing that you shared with me about the lady that was 99 years old.
Yes, she was 99 years old, and I met her about a couple of maybe a week or so ago, and she was born in 1918.
Wow.
Exactly. And I have a picture of her. And she was perky and she was cheerful. But when I met her, I came in the door and I said hello to everyone. Hi, how's everyone doing? Happy holidays. And then I went on to commence to doing what I was doing. But before I left, the young lady's daughter and granddaughter who were there with her came to me and said, my mom would like to say goodbye to you. And I'm thinking, well, wow. And so the person I was with said, Erica, that's just common courtesy, old school, grateful, and thankfulness. When someone enters into a room and they acknowledge you, simply acknowledge them back and say hello, thank you, it was a pleasure to meet you, and go on about your day. Because that one little small meeting gave me so much excitement and thrill because I never would have met this
Right.
99-year-old woman born in 1918.
Right.
Still with a smile on her face, still with her right mind, but still grateful and thankful.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that wonderful?
The state of be.
Yes, the state of being.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so we don't have the luxury. We, like everyone else, what's the lady's name? Amarosa.
Amarosa.
Okay, now some people are in a state of being a little lost, but it's okay. What was that? 180 G's. Was that her salary?
Oh, that was her
180 G's. She was making 180,000.
Right.
Okay, what did Mama say? Some things just shouldn't be. Okay. All right. Move on, Raymond. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
What about this? Let's talk about the launch that SpaceX made. Did everybody see that in the sky? Oh my God. It was so thrilling and exciting. Did you see it?
No.
SpaceX launched a satellite that had 10 satellites on it that they're sending up in space. We don't know where, but it was the other night. And in the sky, people were sending messages, calling, saying, oh my God, it's a UFO. What is it? And then later we were told it was SpaceX, but it was a remarkable and beautiful experience to see the sky lit up.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see it?
No.
See,
I'm glad it wasn't nothing hurtful.
it wasn't. It was an actual launch that we were able to see visually in the sky, and it was remarkable. It was something that was very different, and I appreciated it. But the back end of that is that those were 10 additional satellites
going up in the air,
going up in the atmosphere, for us to continue to do the things that we're doing now, which is like streaming live, and our telephones and everything's connected to that.
Right. Right.
And you didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I probably was asleep. You have to remember I am 65 every now and then. I have to take that little nap. But that's another thing that we talked about.
Right.
We talked about what it's going on in our name with us. It's a wonderful thing that all of this technology is around us. I was just a little concerned when they said, okay, all of the new gadgets has got the GPS and the cameras and those kind of things. The people said they can turn them on anytime they want to.
They're listening to you. We already know that.
Okay, so I was just about ready to take mine and, wrap it up, put it in something, say, okay, when I get ready to use the phone, I'll go and pull it out of the hamster in the bathroom or something, because that's a little concerning.
It's very concerning. We as Americans, we have gotten really, really lax with our privacy issues. And so it's just that's a subject that we're going to have to, continually keep coming back to. Because once you have all those gadgets in your home, when you're listening to it, guess what?
It's listening
to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't ever think about that part.
Well, I'm committed to, and when I say I'm talking about the Raymond Hall Show, and that includes the family.
Right.
That includes you. That includes Mars Media. And by the way, a special shout out to Mr. Johnny Morris. It would be impossible for me to move anywhere in the studio and don't think of him.
His presence is still here amongst us right now.
Yeah, because he's the one that really encouraged me when I first walked in. I just knew I had something I wanted to say. I just had the transplant, and I knew that God had wanted me to do something. I didn't know what it was, and I'd been talking all my life, so I said, well, let me try this. And he was just so encouraging to me. He talked to me about all the things that he had heard and seen. So,
and see, he planted that beautiful seed, and now look, it's sprouting and growing.
Yes.
See, that's an example of planting those beautiful, lovely seeds, and that was years ago. And now, look, it's a tall tree.
Yes. And we've invited people to call if they want to call and say that they're thankful about things.
If they have anything,
kind of
well, I'm sure that we'll be. We should be expecting some calls real soon here, because there's so many things to be grateful and thankful for at this year.
I want to give another shout out to Pretty Cards.
Pretty Cards by Sonia.
Pretty Cards by Sonia. I don't want to just out your mama, but her mother is the one that has this company and makes these cards.
Yes.
They're beautiful. And if you want to see something that's quite unique. Here on the Raymond Hall Show, we don't sell things or recommend things, but what we do is when there is art in the community, we do suggest that people take part in that art. So we're not saying go and buy it. We're just
But
saying,
we are saying go and buy it. She's at Zara's bookstore on La Brea, and you can Google Zara's, or you can also Google. She's on Facebook at Sonia's Pretty Cards, and she's a woman-owns business. She's a grandmother and a mother, and she has definitely made a point to put something different out there for the people, and Mr. Hall loves her.
I love her, and I love the cards. It's three people that's at the top of my world, and all three of their cards came from her.
Oh, okay.
And I was hoping to do it in kind of okay, let me encourage them to just go and look, and they'll buy themselves. But I like the way you did. Look, y'all go out there and buy that card. Okay. Yes. So here's the thing. We have ever-changing communities throughout this nation. And we are not immune from the changes here in Los Angeles.
No, we're not.
Communities that were traditionally our people, our culture, our understanding. Now, other people are saying, well, I got $1. So much for your people, your culture, your understanding.
Right.
And what we are finding is that we're losing things in our community that is a part of the community. Mm-hmm. Everybody can have their own opinion about certain things, but you absolutely must take a stand about what you think the benefits the community.
Right.
So when we didn't take a stand forcefully enough, the biggest economic engine on some blocks in the community was drug dealing. So you ask yourself, it's like the chicken and the egg thing. Which one came first?
But we don't have any poppy seeds or cocoa plants growing anywhere around in any remote vicinity here. So it's not just isolated to just us. Mm-hmm. It's an economic whole train, that's going on the train track, and that I guess we just want to keep it light.
Yeah. Well, the light part today is to encourage people to take part in your community, be active in your community. It was reported through the LA Times yesterday or today that we're losing one of our state level politicians.
Okay.
And I won't get into anything. You want to read the article, go to the LA Times and read the article, and you'll see what it is. But we're going to have to get involved.
We are.
My point about the economic engine was that for that engine to get to that point, it required people doing nothing.
And saying nothing.
Okay. But if you say, wait a minute, we're close to the freeway, we got freeway infrastructure, we've got plenty of labor, we've got everything, why can't we get legitimate industry into communities? And this is communities throughout the country.
Right.
We have someone talking about, every time he talks about how good the country is doing, he talks about stock market.
Right. And so we know that the people that are in the stock market, that's a whole nother level.
Right.
That a number of us may not be on, but what we have to understand is that we can just take it one day at a time, and with some type of plan and wisdom and wise counsel, we all can get there. So it's never too late.
Well, what I thought about with stock market was, does the grocery market, have they stocked my bread? That's about as close as some people going to get to the stock market. The market that they have to go to, do they stock my bread?
Right.
Stock my milk? Okay, not everybody has the luxury to be defined in his economic recovery. So we must pay attention to our own recovery. Okay,
Just like BB said when she came. Remember
yes,
BB?
of course.
And that's what she was talking about. You know, this is just a little short story. Years ago, I used to have a savings club. And a lot of people know who Susie Orman is. And she's the one that gave me the insight on it. So my godmother, my mom, and we all were just talking recently. And we said, we're going to start it again. And I talked to my daughter-in-law. And I was telling her that with saving $35 a week is $1,000 a year. And that's $5 a day at Starbucks.
And you'll probably be a lot healthier too.
Yes, but the point is just that $35 a week, and then if you can do that with other people, you can partner up with some people. The point is that you have to make some effort to make that change that you want to have.
Right.
The time is out for talking, talk. It's time for execution towards the things. If you want to be in the stock market, you can get there, but you're going to have to make a plan to get there. So my plan was to start with the $5. The $5 a day that I'm giving up from the Starbucks.
Right.
Which will give me $1,000 at the end of the year.
Okay.
Now, that's not too far reaching.
And that sounds like a solid plan. That sounds like a solid, very good plan. Okay.
Right.
$5 a day is very attainable because I think even some of the young people go through $5 a day. You and I had a conversation, and I sat and went through all of the
fees he was paying every time he go. I said, well, it's free at 7-Eleven. Why would you go to anywhere else and pay them to get your own money where you can get it somewhere for free? And he's like, duh. I'm like,
well, one of the beauties about life is that God plants, and you can digest this any way you want.
right.
But with my understanding, God plants the people that you need in your life to take you to the places that you need to go.
Right.
And if I said, Lord, I need $1,000, he said to me, okay. And that was it.
Right.
And I'm going, well, I'm not going to bug him because he did give me the 17 years. But I wondered, did he hear me about the $1,000?
Right.
Then you and I had a conversation. I sat down and figured it out. And I'm not going to talk about what all was involved. But it was thousands of dollars.
On fees.
Okay.
On fees.
Right. So I'm going, like he said, okay, I'm going to let you figure that out. You don't need another $1,000. What you need to do is pay attention to the thousands you already have.
Exactly. And that's where the gratefulness comes in. When you just think about $5 a day, think about the fees. It's only $3 when you go to a bank to get your money out. But if you're paying them to give you your money versus there's a place that you can go for free, it's just the little small things that you can start with.
Right.
That can get you to the point where you can, be economically, more sound.
Right. And they do it so subtly because the transaction people charge you $3 and then the machine charges you $1. So that's $4 just to get your money. So if you walk up to the machine and say, I want the quick 40, they say, hey, do you want a quick 40?
Right.
Hit quick 40. You just spent $44.
Right. But we don't see, that's the thing. It seems so minute and so small. But that's why all the buildings in downtown, those tall buildings at the top of them, they all have those bank names up there. Why? Because they're making so much money on the fees. I just read, they said Bank of America made $57 billion in 1 year.
That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
In 1 year.
We need to pay attention in our active state of being. They are counting on us to follow their course. It's a lot of things that are put in front of us are not for our benefit, but for their benefit.
Exactly.
Okay. $4, and you think about okay, you get a little money, you leave it at home, because earthquakes in California, you need a little change at home. But at the same time, your pocket light, so you just bounce over to certain banks and get it. Okay, do you agree? Do you agree we going to take your $3? Yes. Okay. Oh, by the way, the machine takes $1. Okay. We don't think anything of it.
No.
Okay. And then I added it up for the week. I spent like $50, $60.
Yes, on fees.
On fees, one way or another. Somebody tell you got to pay $5 to pay the bill.
Yeah. You got to pay the bill. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the little small stuff. So, you know what? Go to the old school days like my grandmother did and like I do. A stamp. Just take the old school stamp.
And put it in the mail.
And put it in the mail. That's free because everywhere else you go, you have to pay your bill. And even if you talk to them on the phone now, that costs you you got to pay to talk to me.
You got to pay.
You got to pay. You got to pay to pay.
And I noticed every time there's an acquisition, like AT&T want to buy who now?
Somebody.
They want to buy. I guarantee you, soon as they buy them, everything is going to go through the roof.
Exactly.
With them. All of the fees, all of the... You were thinking about us, that's $5.
That's $5.
Here's our phone number, that's $5. It's like, oh, this is ridiculous.
But the thing of it is the part that is so beautiful about it is once we understand that those little $3, $2, $4, 25 cents all add up, and then that's the part that makes the difference.
Right. We are going to keep it light because this is the season of giving. So with that spirit of giving, I want to introduce this thought. How do we give our grandparents and our loved ones that have moved on, how do we give them a gift? We give them a gift by paying attention to what they worked so hard to make available for us that we seem to now just so frivolously
disregarded
the
things that grandmother and grandfather did in the old days.
Right. I now this is when I was a kid, and I've never seen it as an adult, but they had a thing called turning a collar. Mm-hmm. And these dress shirts were so well made that these wives, these women, if the shirt wore out on the inside, they'd take the collar off, turn it around, and sew it back to the shirt, and iron it. The men would keep wearing it.
So it was literally
you could turn the collar
that sounds interesting.
around. Yeah, and people that now if a collar get frayed, you throw it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, you do that, Mr. Hall. I don't know. I wouldn't turn on no. I'll go wash it or whatever. Yeah, but the point is, you get the point.
They get the point.
Okay.
Right. So one of the gifts that we can give, all of us, all of the people that have given so much to let our communities be what they are, we can give the gift of paying attention and says we'll take it further.
Yes.
That was the whole goal with Senior Salute. We have a wonderful vision for 2018, 2019, and 20, our 3-year plan, which includes a Senior Salute. And we look to perform that first Senior Salute of the new year in the first quarter between January and March, and we'll be posting the schedule. And we'll also be talking about a Senior Salute. So in your community, if you want to recognize those senior veterans who served the nation and then came back and made a material contribution through service in your community, you can get together with those in your community and be authorized to do a Senior Salute, and we will be more than happy to recognize those persons. But if you want to remember that building that people see leaning over and about to fall down, at one point that was somebody's vision.
Right.
That beauty salon that now the paint is falling all over the place and it's about, at some point that was somebody's vision. So what can you do with that building today? If you were to say, well, let me start my vision in the community, what could you make that building? What bank could you go to and get a loan to start your vision that you could take that building that's now in tatters to another level? At some point, we all need to recognize that there are things greater than us.
Yes, we do.
It's not heavy. It's really an exciting thing.
It is.
It's when you find something that motivates you. Mm-hmm. You were talking about losing that fire.
Yes, you can never lose it, because when you lose it, it's so evident.
Yeah.
You know, when it's not there anymore,
right.
versus when it's there, you just take it for granted.
Right.
Like, you know, you're excited, you're upbeat, you're happy. But then when that's not there, that small inkling of that fire. Inner fire, when that's gone, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So no matter what, you know, in spite of everything that we've gone through with health issues and family and money, like the book our President Barack Obama wrote, The Audacity of Hope, you have to, no matter what, look in the face of whatever adversity it is that you have, and you still got to say, but you know what? God is still good.
Right.
And I have to get up and I have to go on, because once you lose that fire,
it's gone. Yeah. Saturday, and I'm going to give a shout out to the church. Saturday, when was Christmas? Monday.
Christmas was Monday. Yes.
Okay, so Saturday the sisters was at the church and they was feeding the people and passing out gifts to the kids. And it was just so wonderful. I mean, those kids was walking out of there hugging those little gifts, and the mamas and daddies was smiling. It was and I said, okay, well, Raymond, go on and do your thing, and I go and pick up the trash around the church. And whenever you have those kind of events, you're always going to have trash. Right. Just pick it up. But when I got to the door of the church, under the shrubbery, I found somebody's house.
No, you did not.
Yes.
You mean literally?
Literally.
That's where the person was living.
That's where they was living.
Oh, my God.
At the front door of the church.
Well, I guess.
You know, open cans, where they had open cans of food and drank sodas and water. And they had their bags there full of clothes, and the bags were so heavy I couldn't move it. I had to, go and get some other guys to pull cans around and stuff. We didn't want to throw their stuff away. But so I went from a realization of seeing people happy and the kids and the lines were long down the sidewalk, and you just turn the corner and go up the stairs to the church and look carefully under the bushes, and here's somebody's home. So it moved me to say, okay, the sisters are taking care of the kids and the things downstairs in the church. Now we need to take care of some people that fire that's inside there is not there. And that's based on even someone not even acknowledging them. Just because a person is homeless or they're living on the street, you don't know what their situation is. But if you acknowledge them and say hello, God is good, I love you, and just a smile. Sometimes you don't even have to say a word. That they'll be okay.
They'll be okay. That'll enlighten there.
So that's exactly what we did. We started. We're starting something for 2018 that touches on some of the things that we've talked about here before. We've tried to do the SPA thing, service provider area. SPA 6, SPA 4, and it dawned on me: how could it be someone is living under a bush at the door of the church? we should not be concerned with this whole big old service provider area.
Right.
Just be concerned
with that one person.
That one person at the door of the church.
And that's why they're there. They're there because that makes you have to look at yourself. It makes you have to look at the church. And it makes you have to look at them. Now it's time for some execution. What are we going to do about it?
Well, what I did was I had a conversation. And a lot of people want to call it excuses, reasons, whatever. But these things was real. You know, the young man said, "Mister, before I think about trying to get some money to get to an office to sit there and be turned down, I'm trying to get me a can. I don't even care if the food be hot. This is at the door of the church." Okay? So I thought about, well, now, wait a minute. That's something that you can do on the block.
You can make a difference.
You can make a difference. You can whatever the needs are on the block, let the services be found
on the block.
On the block.
Right.
Okay, you don't need to have a big building to serve 1,000. Just get one of them old houses that the church ain't using. You got to paint it. Just
they don't care.
Sweep it, just board it, and get some other people to come in, and that way they don't have to spend a whole lot of time traveling to hear somebody say no and just kind of doing some things. We're going to ask you all to add your voice via our social
media sites, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Okay.
And, just tell us what you've been grateful for, what you're thankful for. And if there's anything or anyone that you feel that needs some outreach or needs someone to talk to, be that ram in the bush for that person. And also for the Raymond House Show, because that's where we connect with you. When you go there and you leave a comment,
right,
then that's what we need for us to do a better job to give it you what you need.
Right. And that's so very important, because I'll share something with you that all of us already know. There are more things that we have in common than we have different. That person that's without housing permanency in your community has the same challenges as the person without housing permanency in Southern California. Granted, we don't have blizzard snowstorms. Okay, so we don't see any people freezing to death, but someone in harm's way is someone in harm's way. So share with us your thoughts, share with us those things. In the coming year, we're going to be talking about a number of issues. We're going to be talking about seniors. Why is it so many seniors now having problems? Because they're being priced out of their communities.
Exactly. Yes, they are.
We've heard from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and I got to say this. This man actually says, don't tell them that you're putting in the tax bill that we are repealing
Affordable Care
the
Act.
Affordable Care Act.
But they're repealing the portion of it is the mandate.
Right.
Which is the reason why is because the money from the mandate is what they want to use for other things.
Correct.
So it's just that you just have to be informed. I'm a person, I love, information and knowledge, and I read a lot. And so more of us need to start picking that back up. Just taking some time to read and get the information, because it's not hidden. And that's the thing about this new administration. Everything they're doing is out for everyone to see. So it's not in secret. You know what I'm saying? If you just read, if you just follow. So that's something that I would say that I would like for more of us to do, is just to be more informed, so that we can make some more conscious, better decisions for what we need for our life inside of the current atmosphere that we're in, because no matter what, we're still blessed and we're still grateful and we're still thankful.
Yeah. And you can make a difference.
Yes, you can.
We've seen this year people, just single people making a difference. People, young people running.
Old people.
And getting involved and winning elections.
Yes, and saving people and giving back. And
oh my goodness, the rainstorm. And people just start helping each other, didn't know each other, and all those kinds of things. I am so grateful for the experience of life.
And so am I. So am I. And I've fallen in love with the thought of love, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make the difference. The love that we have for one another.
Right.
And, you know, our brethren abroad, because it's just simple as that, you know. I mean, what else can I say?
Okay. Well, we are not going to leave here without recognizing those who serve in the armed forces of the United States of America. Service is something that requires a person to be commendable. And, you know, we were given the 10 Commandments, and we see how that works out even today, even with me.
Right.
Okay, I can't look any further than me. But those who serve in the armed forces of the United States, they're a special kind of people giving service, oftentimes abroad, away from family, and oftentimes in harm's way. So we do want to thank you for that service. We do want to thank you for giving the service that affords us the liberty to serve here in the homeland. And we also want to thank those seniors
that have gone before us.
That have gone before us, those people that served. You sent me the song Santa Baby Earth the Kid. Okay. And I read an article not a day or so later that said that the South wouldn't even allow the song to be played.
No.
Yes. Because of her, they wouldn't, and it was so this and that they wouldn't allow the song to be played. You know, we have met challenges face on, and we've overcome.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Seniors deserve the respect that we can afford them. They deserve every opportunity for us to now give them service because of the service and the sacrifices that they made. Okay. A lot of things we know better to do, but we still do them simply because someone has said that you don't need to recognize, you don't need to respect each other like that. You can call each other any kind of name. Where if you call other people derogatory names, you can go to jail. Oh. Okay.
You can go to jail for that.
You can go to jail for that. Okay.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Okay. And they going to have some people there that say, give him the maximum penalty. Okay. Yeah. So we are just thankful with this.
We made it through to the end of the year of 2017, and it was a bumpy, rocky road, and we have had some mountains to climb. And we've been in the peaks, and we've been in the valleys. Yeah. We've been sick, we've been well, we've been happy, we've been sad. Yeah. But through it all, we have truly been grateful and thankful. And I just want to give a shout out to my parents. I love you. To my grandmother and my husband, who's gone on to be with the Lord, who I know they're looking down on me. To my children, my grandchildren, and to Mr. Hall for giving me this beautiful opportunity that I never expected. I never saw it coming, and it has been a tremendous experience for me. To the Morris Media Studio family, I want to say thank you to them. We appreciate them, and we look forward to many, many more days and nights of them supporting the community.
Right. Morris Media is an essential here in the community.
Yes, she is.
If you have an idea for broadcast, maybe you should talk with Morris Media to understand what that requires. it's important that we support this studio, and it's important that we support it in a way that it's our first choice. If you don't like CBS or NBC or ABC or that kind of thing, what do you see?
Right.
Okay. Let's roll with what you see as opposed to the ABC, NBC, or CBC. Let's see what your eyes will allow you to be able to do. And after all, they started somewhere as well. They didn't just come up a mega company. They had mega support behind them, but they had a first day in broadcast too. I want to thank Mrs. Erica Flynn Walker. I want to thank you because you have lifted me in so many ways. You've helped me in so many ways. You've helped me to grow in a number of ways. I don't believe in putting all of your business in the street, but
don't do it.
I will
take
say
it easy now.
I will say that when I was laying in a bed, she thought enough for me to be able to come to that bedside to see about me. And in some cases, when I needed to get to a bed, had an emergency on a speaking engagement, she was there. So you have given us all some wonderful energy. You have helped the community to be able. We had a kid that is most memorable. We did the show on the firemen, and the mother wrote back telling about the child's experience, and you had said that the big red truck, when you see the big red truck coming, get out of the way.
Exactly, move over.
Yeah, so the kid heard the siren coming.
Where was he? He was in the car with his mother.
He was in the car with his mother, and he started saying, "Mama, the lady said, move, it's the big red truck, move." And she said that she was just really surprised because she was listening to the show. She didn't know that he was listening to the show.
That's what I'm saying.
And he told his mama, the lady said, move over when you hear or see the big red truck. And so...
just planting those little seeds.
Right.
That will make a difference. And, you know, it just warms my heart, and I'm so grateful and thankful for the opportunity. And I just, you know, admonish each and every one of us listening to the sound of our voice to just do the same thing. You know, it's not difficult just to, you know, show some appreciation for the small things in life.
Yeah. Well, we truly thank you. And my life is made better. The show is made better. Our community is made better.
We need to give out a shout out to healthy African American families.
I was just about to get to that. Yeah, I wanted to, but I was going to do it through you.
Okay.
When we added our energy, the Raymond Hall Show added their energy to supporting healthy African American families, and they had a veterans event to which you hosted.
Yes.
To which Mrs. Walker hosted. And it was because of her energy.
It was a collaborative in Mr. Hall and everybody there in Lamert Park.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lady that won the grand prize, and she just blew me away.
Yes. Tell them what she said, Mr. Hall.
Well, she was talking to you. And she says that she was looking at her and her husband was looking at this little TV, and she said, "Lord, I need a TV or something.
Right.
I need a 32-inch.
Exactly. She called it.
And she said the Lord told her to go to, because her husband is a veteran, to go to the veterans event. And she didn't put the two together.
Right.
But that was her husband. He's a veteran. I'm going to support him. Okay, we're going to this veterans event. And everybody had a rifle ticket. And she won the grand prize, which was a 32-inch television.
Isn't that lovely? She spoke it into existence.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Some things you really have to see because nobody could tell you.
Right. And she was serious. She was not kidding. She was like, I told the Lord I needed this 32-inch TV, and the Lord told me that he was going to give it to me.
Mm-hmm. Told her to go to the veterans event.
Yes.
She went to the veterans event and won the TV.
And she was happy as all. And guess what? These people were not rich people. Mm-mm. These people were not fancy people. But they appreciated, everything about the experience. And that's what the whole show is about. Appreciation of the experience of life, love, and the liberty that we have as American citizens.
Yeah. So we definitely want to thank Healthy African American Families too. Miss Loretta and Falika and Milan Murphy.
And Milan Murphy.
We want to thank everyone over there. And we want to thank the Department of Veterans Affairs. They have a job to do in working with those veterans seeking services. We have to remember that when these people sign up to serve, they're answering the call to the Marine Corps, the few, the proud, and the Air Force, the global force of one. I mean, whatever it is, the Army, a force of one.
Right.
Okay.
And the Navy, that's where my dad was, the Navy.
The Navy and the Air Force.
And even the Reserve.
Right. Okay. No, well, they don't go nowhere.
They don't go nowhere?
They don't go nowhere. They go every so many weeks, they go on a weekend.
But they are reserved.
Yeah, I'm just joking. They get called up. Matter of fact, they are one of the first group of people that get called up in today's time.
Okay.
They hold the regular. But the Department of Veterans Affairs has a tremendous job to do because we see the people that America wants. Give me your best out of your community. And then in the course of service, sometimes they are harmed to the point where they need service. So we want to thank them. We are coming up on close to, I guess, the end of our...
Right. I want to give a few more shout-outs to the White House by Miss Ann on Manchester Avenue. Go over and take a look at her.
I thought you was talking about Donald Trump.
No, not the White House. And we call him 45, okay? No, the White House by Miss Ann. Okay. My girl is still over there. She's alive and well. Also, Erica has launched I'mALuxury.com that you can go to and take a look at that. Erica being me. I'mALuxury.com being my business. You can go on there. You can take a look and you might find something interesting. What's on there is just high-end luxury items, leather goods, purses, bags, anything your little heart desires. And you can go on there and you can leave me a little note. You can suggest things that you may be looking for, and then we'll upload those onto the site for you. But it's just something new and fresh that I've just launched. I just wanted to give you that little inside tip. And also I wanted to give a shout out to my church, Union Missionary Baptist Church, and my church family.
Now, who is the pastor, senior pastor?
Reverend A. Dale McDaniel, and we're at 1812 East 110th Street in Watts.
Okay.
And we just look forward to, if you ever, have somewhere, if you're ever in need and you want a church home, you can come over and visit us at Union Missionary Baptist Church or Mr. Hall at Grant AME. Where are you located?
Right. We're at 104th and Central, 10435 South Central Avenue. But I want to invite you to something else, too. We're launching or relaunching a program called The Word of God for Today.
Okay.
Now, that show is a 30-minute show. It has no preaching in it at all. It's purely about teaching.
Okay.
And it comes from the point that everything that's in the Bible is not meant for you to take it as something that was written and, okay, that's good, we learned that, okay, let's move on.
Right.
Everything that's written in this book, the Word of God, is for you to use today. I'll give you a good example.
Okay.
Do not try to take your child with a knife, talking about, I'm going to sacrifice it, and wait on a ram in the bush. That's called attempted murder.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay? Don't even try it. But what is that about? You know, what is that whole thing about that we can apply it to our lives today?
Right.
What is more important to you when God speaks to you? And there's a song by a lady named Edna Tatum, my favorite song. Mm-hmm. And she says, when God comes to visit you, that's revelation.
Yes, I love that. Okay, JLH, when she talks about the snapdragon.
Yes! Right, the lilies and everything.
Yes, else. I love her.
All right. So the word of God for today is to help us understand that God's word is here to help us today. And if we read it and study it, then we will be able to learn how to apply it. And that's where, when I talked about be, be is one of the most often used words in the Bible.
Wow.
It is. It says, in the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you look at it, you just see it as narrative to an introduction in the beginning. And then you go on to the important subject matter.
Right.
Or maybe we just rolling past something that's very important. In the be, this object be had a beginning.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you about the beginning of this object. Because what happens?
What happens? Tell us.
Everything that God does from that point on is done through the word. That's what John says. But it's done with be.
Wow.
So go and study it for yourself, and you're going to see that be is most often used, and everything was created through the word, but it was created with be. So
see, that's
what can you do in a state of be? What can I do in a state of be? What can we do as the Raymond Hall Show and talk about the things that's important to you and I in the community as beings? We come together as beings and say that we are going to be thankful for this opportunity that we've been given. We're going to be thankful for the community and the time that we've been assigned to. We're going to be thankful for the task. And we are going to look to see each and every one of you over in 2018.
Yes. We'll be so grateful and thankful to see each and every one of you in 2018, which is only a few, time is going by so fast. So, just like that, it'll be
December 28th.
Yes.
2-3 days.
On Monday. It's 2018.
Ooh.
So be grateful, be thankful, and be there or be square. From the Raymond Hall Show, Mr. Raymond Hall, Miss Erica Flynn Walker, Morris Media Studios.
That's right. And y'all come on down here and talk to Felicia. You come down here and you talk to Felicia and whatever. See, you don't want to go either or. I gotta broadcast here or there. No, you want to expand. Okay? You want to include Morris Media in your program lineup. Okay? You want to include Morris Media so you can, those places where Morris Media is the place where people listen, you want to make sure that you're there too. So if we don't keep what we need in the community, somebody is going to keep what they want us to have in the community.
So we need to come together collectively.
We need to come together collectively. We need to keep what's important to us. Somebody else is going to come and say, well, okay, you can record, but you can't say this. Oh, you can come and record, but you can't say that. But what if my show is all about this or that?
Right.
Well, I guess you just ain't got no show, huh?
Well, Mr. Hall, it's been a lovely experience as always.
Well,
You want to wrap us up with something?
I'm going to simply say this. The wisdom that I've been given says be wise sometime and let somebody else say goodnight. So for 2017, we're going to ask Mrs. Erica Flynn Walker to give us those parting words. You know, in the early days, you used to say ta-ta.
Right, that's what I'm going to say. Peace, love, happiness, blessings. Stay fabulous at all times. Look up to the hills from whence comes your health, and be grateful and thankful every single day that you're alive and well. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you in the near future, which is next Thursday. Same bad time, same bad channel, 2 o'clock, Morris Media Live, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, The Raymond Hall Show. We love you. Ta-ta.
Good night, you all. Have a good year. Bye-bye.
Bye.